Oh, okay. So yeah, if you guys have any ideas, thoughts, anything like that, just pop them into chat. Brennan and I always check within 5 minutes.
Usually 5 seconds if I'm at my computer.
Yeah, generally. You guys don't want to see our chat, like specific to us, but yeah, just put them in the chat, and we'll drop them onto the notes list. All right, so I don't have anything else for housekeeping, so we can get right into it. Who wants to do scenes from last week?
Me.
I do not. My brain is in too many different timelines of our story. I don't actually know where we're at.
Okay.
I lost my notes, but I can attempt it.
I can do a pared down version.
I can do it if
yeah, that's what they do.
Okay, I don't want to get too far afield here if nobody else wants to. Okay, so I had a few things, not very much, because last week we're not going to call it a filler episode. We're going to call it a short setup. So the first thing that you guys did was you made a lot of cups. We spent about 30 minutes determining how to make the cups for this bar. Didn't quite get them all branded in time, and I'm not sure that they all got made, actually, but you did make a good amount of cups. I'm not sure how many you have anymore, because I think you were giving them away,
Mm-hmm.
but you did it right this time. You had the kids go grab their friends who you wanted to make staff for the big day, the triplet elves, and their sham player friend, who you offered to pay with tips and to pay with a hot meal and something else. I don't remember, but it wasn't very much. You interviewed and hired them both, then you slept through the night. That was the first 2 hours of last episode.
It
was. I was like, at what point is the bar going to open?
I
picture the bar opened
the first 2 hours.
The bar opened with 30 minutes.
To be fair,
left in the
you
session.
definitely did.
Yeah, so you slept through the night, real quick long rest, and then Bodhin took Swidley and Jinx to the parade, Salem Salashas, or whatever that is. You saw the City Watch, Captain Zord, and the Sea Maiden's Fair. You saw Xanathar's mechanical beholder. And while there, you funneled a lot of people to the bar. You were as charismatic as you have ever been in your life. While at the bar, the load on the plumbing was too great, and Cock and Ursus ran around trying to fix it. They eventually did, applied a little Band-Aid to it, and then while that was happening, you found shit-covered bags on the porch, which Bodhin stamped out and made shit fly everywhere. Rainier went ahead and prestidigitized them, but that's still something that had to happen. And last, at the very end of the episode, the foundations of the bar were rocked by an explosion just south of the bar, and that's where we ended. So we are going to start there tonight. Wrong. We're actually starting in jail tonight.
Nice. Yes, I was hoping we were going to get an update from jail.
Starting in jail, where Boddynock has almost served the full day. Yeah, okay. So it's fine. All right, Body. So you find yourself in the Waterdeep City Jail. You were taken there by the City Watch after you tried to steal from Victorio Castellanter and failed. The City Watch threw you in a cell, said you're going to have to sleep it off and we'll come back for you in a day, maybe. And you've been sitting there for a while. You see a couple things outside of your cell, and you've been here for a few hours, and you notice that on the hour, every hour, they send one of the guards around on patrol. Are you doing anything in this cell at the moment? Are you just kind of hanging out, push-ups? You don't have access to any of your gear or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say I have to imagine they've taken everything away from me. That's standard. I think I'm just kind of like checking out my surroundings, looking at the cell, trying to become familiar with it, see like not necessarily trying to break out, but like if I needed to or I wanted to, trying to assess where that opportunity would best be.
Okay, so around you, you can see a young half-orc that's asleep in the cell, catty-corner to you, and across from you, you can see a cloaked figure just kind of lounging on a cot. In your cell, you can basically see the standard. Okay. Yeah.
I didn't know that was gonna happen.
We'll just put you guys over here. You guys can see the same thing, but that's fine. So in your cell, you see your three friends. They're all stacked on top of each other, and they can't move. Of course.
I imagine I'm
kidding.
hallucinating.
Yeah. So you have two cots in there. You are just kind of like laying on one, just kind of looking around. But the cots are kind of up to your chest because you're a pretty small guy. It looks like a pretty standard fare of a jail. You've seen them before. You've been in them before. Iron bars, stone walls, kind of a mildewy stone floor.
Okay. So my interest is on that hooded figure. I want to communicate with him, but the half orc is asleep, so I'm just going to leave that alone. Are there any like small pebbles on the ground? Like I could kind of like toss one over to get someone's attention without necessarily talking yet?
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check. Yeah, so you're actually, as you look around, you're actually able to find a little cracked tile that is around you. And you can use those as kind of like pebbles to throw if that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna toss a piece over there. Really what I'm trying to do is like kind of avoid the notice of the guards as much as possible, but I kind of just want to get that person's attention and maybe, see if they're awake, if they're lucid, if they're alive.
So when the pebble hits the floor, the cloaked figure kind of rolls around and looks out at you, and you hear from the dark, "So what are you in for?"
So I kind of whisper over to him and I'm like, my ambition was a little bit larger than my ability this time. What about you?
I guess you could say kind of the same. I don't usually get caught, but I pretty much always break out of these places when I do. You want to break out of here with me?
I'm interested, yeah. So as I say I'm interested, and then I want to pause for a second and just kind of listen to see if I can hear any guards coming around.
Okay, so you can pretty regularly tell when they're going to come around.
So it's okay. So it's like it's pre-scheduled. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So you imagine you're kind of free to talk for a half hour or so.
Okay. 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 So yeah, I'm interested, but I'm also trying to protect the outward image I'm portraying, if that makes sense.
It actually makes way more sense than you would know.
So what do you? I guess what do you have in mind?
So it's kind of like I'm breaking out, but you're not. That's kind of my thought. Is that I heard him say you're only in here for a day, and that's only a few more hours away.
Mm-hmm.
So when they come to get you, do you think you can pick the keys and slip them to me while the guards are leaving out?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can definitely do that.
Hell, if that doesn't work, you could just bring them close to the bars, and I'll take care of it from there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we could definitely make that work. Mm-hmm. I like where your head's at.
And this voice from the dark starts speaking to you just about trees and the sun and everything like that, about the mildew on the tiles. It's taken quite a while for her to say what this voice is saying. Um, and of course, you recognize it as thieves' cant. So
Of
you
course.
guys are speaking, discussing this breakout plan. Uh, in Thieves' Cant. So you think you've got it pretty well ironed out, and the figure kind of just sits back, and this figure says, "So I guess we're just gonna wait then, huh?"
I guess so.
So why don't you tell me about your homeland? What do you do to pass the time? I haven't met many deep gnomes.
You want to know about my homeland or what I do to pass the time?
Either's fine with me.
Oh, my homeland's beautiful. It's dark. It's dank. It's wet. Everything that you could
So it's a lot
possibly
like
want.
here.
In a manner of speaking, yes, but much larger, much more robust. Imagine the largest city you've ever seen. Deep, deep underground, carved into the earth.
Seems like there'd be a lot of shadows there. Pretty easy to stick to the shadows and steal.
People like me, my race, we naturally learn the abilities that most thieves prize.
Yeah, I only know one of you. He runs a purple shop named Jablob.
Oh yeah.
I fence out a lot of my stuff with him, actually.
I know Jablob, yeah. One of my most prized possessions came from him. I would show it to you if I still had it.
Yeah, you wouldn't still have your
My monocle.
Yeah. And the voice says, "That's okay. You know, we can steal it back when you spring me. You know."
Oh, I fully expect them to return it to me. If they don't, I will regain it by my own means.
So what's your next big score?
Honestly, I don't have one. Kind of running a few things. I actually have a legitimate business in the works that I hope is this very moment succeeding. But I'm always keeping my ears open for options. Do you have any ideas or any work that needs to be done?
Oh no, you don't. You're not gonna take any of my jobs.
No, I'm just to be frank, I'm new to the city. As you know, I came from the underdark. Haven't been in Waterdeep long, but always kind of looking out for like-minded individuals, groups that could help each other out, if you know what I'm saying.
You know, all I really do is steal from the nobles.
That's funny.
I
That's
like
exactly what got me in here.
I like to take them down a peg. Oh yeah, who'd you try to steal from?
I tried to steal from a Castellanter.
You tried to steal from Victoro?
Yeah, that's the one. I succeeded. Well, I won't say succeeded. Made it away the first time. Second time, I think maybe I'd had a bit too much to drink and thought it was someone else.
She laughs at that, and you can hear that. You can hear that she has kind of a nice melodious laugh. Um, I've let it slip about 10 times now. It's a woman. You can hear a sultry tone coming from her voice. She says, "Victoria, that old fuck, he deserves to get some shit stolen from him. I'd love to take him for what he's worth."
Well, I won't say that I'm not going to try again now that he's gotten me locked in jail for a day. Although, to be fair, I feel like my sentence should have been much longer, so I'm not sure who I have to think to that for that.
Well, if you ever want to steal from Victoria, you can give me a call. You can call me the Viper.
The Viper.
And that name rings a bell for you. You know that the Black Viper is kind of an arch thief in Waterdeep. Nobody really knows who the Black Viper is, and the Black Viper is not really affiliated with anyone. But it's kind of like Black Viper is kind of like a pretty well-known cat burglar that only steals from the rich. The nobles are very upset with the cat burglar called the Black Viper.
Okay.
She says, "Yeah, you can call me the Viper. Where do you say this business is? That your legitimate business?"
Are you familiar with Troll Skull Alley?
Well, I've been there a time or two.
Yeah, it's not the busiest place. It's not the most well-known place, but trying to open a bar there. Honestly, we came
Yeah.
by it. A couple of, we'll call them acquaintances of mine, in a business dealing.
Yeah? You steal it?
No, actually, this was a legitimate gain. This was payment for services rendered.
Oh, wow. Got it in cards or something. I like that.
Sure, yeah, you could say cards, yeah.
Yeah. I go down there occasionally. I might stop in. I do some work for Vincent Trench down on Troll School occasionally. I mean, he does some work for me as well. But yeah, and as she's speaking, the guard comes up.
Okay.
Says, "All right, little gnome, it's time to let you go. I don't know why we don't just kill you, but Victoro said to let you go. So you must have some good gods looking out for you." And he unlocks the iron, the bars that you're behind, and he opens it up and gives you a little bit of a wave to move on.
Okay. So I'm going to use my mage hand invisibly to pick those keys.
Okay. You're just gonna like walk by him and use them, or how are you gonna do that?
So I should be able to control it. Yeah, so just have my mage hand pull the keys off of his belt once I've been like let out.
Okay. So
And then
yeah. So go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check. See how dexterous this mage hand is.
You have got to be kidding me.
So,
Wow.
so when
A +7.
when your
Never in
mage
my
hand
life did I think I'd roll a 2.
pulls these keys out, he turns around and he's like, "What the fuck?" Because he sees his keys floating in midair. He reaches and grabs them out of the air.
Damn.
And after he reaches and grabs them out of the air, he turns and he looks at you.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, Are you a magic user?"
I'm gonna use Charm Person on him.
Charm person. All right. That's is that Wiz?
Yes, 13.
Wiz 13. All right. That's a fail. Yeah. So he
There's basically 2 ways I was gonna take that. It was either gonna be trying to use magic to get him, or like try and stumble, and I went with magic and it failed.
yeah, so he just kind of looks at you and he's like, "Oh, hey, let's get you out of here, buddy. How did you even get in here? It's good to see you again, though."
Yeah, thanks. You know, I think it was just an issue where I was actually just kind of inspecting the cells, make sure everything was in order, and I got accidentally locked in. If you could help me out, my partner is over there locked in that cell. Same thing happened to them. It's crazy. We should really have these doors looked at.
Yeah, you know what? Go ahead and roll persuasion with advantage. Oh, yeah, you know
That'll
what?
work.
I've been thinking that these doors needed some looking at. Uh, I the Black Viper though. You're you're friends with the Black Viper. I don't think we're supposed to let. You know what? You know what, buddy? For you, let's get this done, okay?
Yeah,
and-
they're you know, I get what you're saying. They're a consultant. We're actually using them as a consultant to make sure that the jail is more secure.
Oh, you're like pen testers. I see. Okay. And he goes and he unlocks the door, and the Black Viper immediately smashes him in the face as soon as she can. So let's see. Big 3. Okay, so what's he got? All right, so he stumbles. Oh wait, no, I didn't do that right. What's her? Yeah, so that's a 3. So he stumbles, and he just kind of stands back up, and he says, "What the fuck? How did you get out? And did you do this?" He looks at you. He gets a little whistle out. It looks like he's about to blow it.
Okay.
It's gone sideways.
I'm just gonna bolt.
You're just gonna run? Okay.
Yep.
All right. So as you, yeah, go ahead. You've got, 25 feet?
Yeah. So I can only see shadows, so I can move out of my cage here. No, I
Oh,
cannot.
yeah, sorry. There you go. Now you're out of the cage.
Okay. So I'm gonna run to make it around a corner. So I have 25, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and then I'm gonna immediately disguise self and turn myself into a guard.
Okay, but like a really, really short guard, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot there for a minute that I'm way shorter than everyone else.
Aren't you a bit short for a stormtrooper?
Yeah. So you
let's say I'll turn myself into a kid.
into a
Just
kid.
child.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just
All
let's
right.
the exact same image that I turned myself into when I was on the docks trying to. So that was, I think that was.
Jinx.
It was Jinx. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it was Jinx.
Yeah. So, so you run around that corner. You see some people in cells. They look like they're sleeping. You hear from behind you a scuffle. You don't hear any whistle at this point. So you got another turn.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna try and assess. I've never been here, don't really know where I'm going, but does it seem like if I continue down this hallway, that will lead me out?
So you can go down the hallway. You can see
Okay.
what you can see what you see.
Let's do that. Oh, okay. So I see that one. I'm gonna go that way.
Yeah. Okay.
It won't let me cleanly do it, but I'm going that way. So
There.
that's
There
15,
we go.
20, 25. Yeah.
And this guard looks up and he sees a little kid, and he says, "What the hell is going on? How? Who are you? How'd you get in here?"
So I'm gonna try and I'm just gonna try and talk in a higher pitched voice. I'm gonna be like, "Can you help me, my daddy? I was looking for my dad."
And as you speak, from the cells, you kind of hear like a like a half whistle, and then a big thud. This guy's, what the fuck is going on over there? This is routine prisoner transfer, and he starts going this way. He does not seem to care about you anymore.
All right.
So-
I am
so,
going
like,
to... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Right now, you can probably tell that this is the way out.
Okay. So then I'm going to use my full movement to make it over there. Well, it won't make it over there, but all of my movement I can.
All right, so you see this guard disappear around the corner, and you can make it out by this time if you want to.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you make it out of the jail. You find your stuff on the way out. It was just sitting there on the table, ready for the prisoner release. And you have made it out of jail. As soon as you step your foot onto the street outside the jail, you see a hire coach skid up beside you. And the door flies open, and looking out that you, Petey, your friend,
man.
the hire coach driver, says, "Hey there, buddy, heard you in jail."
Petey, thank God you're here. Man, could I use a ride home?
Yeah, you want to go to the bar?
I want to go to the bar.
All right, I think they're having a pretty good day so far. I basically wasn't able to get out of there to come get you. And so he takes you just specifically, down the street towards Troll School Manor. Now we're going to rejoin everybody else at the Leaf and Vine.
How does Petey just know? He just always knows.
He's good.
PD is a
Just,
legend.
As you guys can see, I have upgraded my commoner
Yes.
tokens.
They look great.
Oh,
They
damn.
look great.
Is that Nicole Kidman?
I left this one here because it still looks like a commoner, but they all used to look like that girl. Now they don't. But yeah, so you guys are back at the bar. Ursus, you are not here, but yeah, there you are. Ursus, you are underneath the bar in the basement, still kind of like standing in 3-inch deep beer. You seem to be kind of trying to work through all of this shit that's happening around you. Cock, you were still serving beers at this time, but it had cooled down a little bit, enough that a lot of people had left by that time. A lot of your friends, Tally, Rainier, Floon, even Squidly, even Althea, I think it was. Althea is there. Althea, so it was Althea. Avi and Embrick, they left. Basically, all the commoners, mostly the commoners have left, and you find yourself with a much less crowded bar, but still with a few pockets of people here and there. Bodhin, you're standing at the door trying to figure out how to get the shit off of you, and you all hear this giant explosion from the south of the bar. Now I'm going to need you all of you, to roll 2 dex checks.
Baby. Just a straight ability check.
So I'm here at the bar. Does that include me as well?
So you're not at the bar yet, but I still need you to roll 2 dex checks.
His dice hit my dice.
5, 12, 4.
Hold on a second.
Come on, you guys.
11.
23 and 10.
That dice actually covered up my dex, so I couldn't roll. Ugh.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Hold on.
Look at these.
So Dungeon
Oh my
Master.
God.
Dungeon Master.
Yeah.
I chose a feat from when I leveled up.
Okay.
I chose the lucky feat. Are you
Oh,
familiar?
you chose lucky.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you can roll it again.
I'll-
You got 3, right?
I have 3, so I think just one replaces one of my checks, right?
Yeah.
So if I wanted to replace both of them, I'd have to use 2, right?
This is Power Gamer Brad taking a lucky feat.
That's a good one. That's a good
Right.
choice.
All right.
A lot of DMs ban it.
Yeah.
I actually think it's banned in Adventure League.
Did
Oh,
you
really?
ban it?
No, I didn't ban it. You can keep it.
Yeah, fuck. Fuck that.
You are the farthest thing from an optimizer. This group.
That's right. Oh my
Still
god.
roll 7.
Speaking of optimization, what is going on with these dice?
Yeah, I'll turn off the dice mod real fast for you guys. Oh my god. Okay.
Can I use another one?
You want to?
I'm going to use another one.
Ursus, you rolling on the table?
I rolled in D&D Beyond 23 and a 10.
Oh, and beyond. Okay.
It's crazy. I took my
You know
best
what,
ability, and I
Brad,
rolled a
just
7 and a 4.
Roll another one, and if you get a 7, you get both of your luck points back.
Lucky number, yeah, 3
Yeah.
sevens. That's like
Lucky
jackpot.
number
3
7.
7s.
Okay.
3 7s.
All right,
You're gonna both back.
I'm using my third slot. Do I have to use my third slot to do this?
No. This is free. I'm giving it to
I
you.
totally
This
would.
is just for
I'm a
this is just for
gambling man.
bonus luck points if you get.
Okay, cool. All right, come on, Sam.
It's
Come
like
on, Sam.
DM inspiration.
Yeah.
Oh,
Damn.
That-
Good eyes.
all right.
No dice. No dice.
All right. So let's see. How
Still
many fails do we have? 2.
Everybody? I don't know. The highest we rolled was a 12.
Looks like there's 1 that wasn't a fail. All right.
I rolled a 23
Miserable.
on one of them.
We've got 3 characters.
Oh, that's right,
that
I don't
have
see
super
yours.
high dexterity, and
Yeah, +5.
Well, it looks like you're getting them all out right
Yeah.
now. That's good. Burning all those luck points too. All right. So,
Well, Bly vacuumed it with his nat 20.
That's what it
Vacuumed
is.
all the luck. I wasn't there to see what it was for, but I'm sure it was for something very important.
yeah, it was.
What was it? I
Okay.
don't remember.
So when you guys hear this explosion, what are you doing?
I fall. I think.
I think I stabilize
Like-
myself in the doorway as I'm trying to greet people.
I slip
I
on beer. And fall.
Are you like falling on purpose, like hitting the deck, or you like it knocks you over?
No, like just the fact that it happened on the rumble, like it jars me enough where I'm trying to serve beer and I slip on beer. The floor is kind of slippery, so
So
I
it's little
might
bird
hit my
legs.
head. Didn't quite hit my head, but it's very I'm on the
I'm
ground.
looking at everybody to see if everybody's okay, and do I notice anything about any of the people in the bar?
Okay, so go ahead and roll
Okay.
insight. I'll tell you with your passive that nobody really looks like they're hurt. Nothing's like really fallen and smashed into people or anything like that. And you can't really say whether people are psychologically scarred or anything like that. But you can see that physically, no one seems to have broken bones or anything like that. No one's. A couple people fell to the deck, but they're getting back up.
It's good. Our property insurance isn't in line. We don't
Yeah,
need any
Body,
we don't need any suits to face.
Body, you see, you feel this through the hire coach streets away, and you
Okay.
start to see black smoke rising from about the area that the bar is. You know that that's where you're going, and you see it.
What's
Oh shit!
Okay, so I'm gonna slide PD 5 gold pieces, and I'm gonna tell him to step on it.
You got it, boss. Into the flames for you. And he immediately books it a little bit faster than he was going. He'll get you there like almost immediately.
Okay.
5 gold
gold
pieces.
fueled PD?
Damn. You just gave him like generational wealth to get you.
Just got a year's worth of pay in one ride.
Trying to support PD and his family.
PD's
okay.
doing good. He's gonna have a house.
He's the boss.
Little PDs.
Petey
He's
is
the real
doing
hero of
well.
this campaign.
All right. So, Ursus, you're in the basement. You feel this rock. The beer kind of splashes around you. What are you doing?
So I look up at what my next order is, and I just start making it. I'm just so focused on making
going
these. I'm so focused on
He's
making
going
these
for it.
drinks that, like, I heard the rumble and I acknowledge the rumble, but to me, in my world and where my head is at right now, the next order is more important than that. So I'm just like, keep trucking.
Respect.
I mean,
Respect.
it does sound like you managed a steak and shake.
Exactly.
All right, Cox. So you pick yourself up off the ground, and what's your move? What's your move here?
I try to find shit-covered Bodhin in the bar because I saw him running around earlier. See if,
I'm still at the door.
if I can spot him.
Yeah, you can see him. You can see him by the door, by the front door.
I just call out and I said, "What was that?"
I said, "Fuck if I know." And I run out the door and I sprint down to the south to check it out.
Okay. So Bodhin is the only one outside. So Bodhin, you step out the front door. This is what you see. Boddynock, you're in the hire coach now. PD has pulled up to where it is, and there's just throngs of people around you, and he says he can't take you any further.
Okay.
You know
so
the bar is 1 street north of you.
okay. So I thank him and tell him to get out of here while he still can, and then I'm just gonna do like a vault straight out of the hire coach, like hoping that it just doesn't even stop, just diving right out while it's still rolling.
How's your deck
Nice.
saved?
Nimble.
Yeah. So
You have a
what you
athletics
see
check.
around you, Bodhin, you guys can move around in this scene if you want. What you see around you, Bodhin, is just
Vault?
chaos. It's just chaos everywhere. There are commoners screaming. The streets are in disarray. The cobblestone has been thrown around. You see that the building next to you is on fire.
Okay.
It's in flames, and a lot of it is collapsed. You see a lot of people that are on the ground, and you can't tell immediately whether they're dead or whether they're unconscious, but they're not moving. The nearest that you can see is Rainier. Rainier's the nearest to you that you notice, that you know rather, and Tally and Floon are close to him as well.
Okay, so I recognize Tally, Floon, and Rainier. Those are the only people I recognize. The building across the street, do I know what the building is?
So you know that this one was not like a shop or anything. It was just it was like a residence.
And it's on fire, and so I assume that that's where this explosion came from. It would make sense to me. That's what the explosion came from.
No, you would specifically assume that the explosion was not. You would assume that the building was ancillary in the explosion. It was in the penumbra. It wasn't necessarily where the explosion was. You can kind of see, but from where you are, like where the scorch marks on the ground are. You can see that. You know, this is kind of trail.
Okay, so I can see that's kind of maybe where the explosion was then. Okay.
Yeah, you can piece that together.
And all these
pretty
people
easily.
down here are laying on the ground.
Everybody's laying on the ground in this scene.
So I see that, and I just dip my head back into the bar, and I yell to Cock. I say, I said, there's lots of people down on the ground. We're going to need as much help as we can get out here. And then I run back out the door, and I run to see what I see here. And as I come around the corner, I see Jinx. Is that right? Jinx is on the ground.
Yeah. Jinx.
And Nat's
on the ground. Yeah.
And I immediately
right
run
next
to these two and check to see if they're okay.
Okay. So Cock, are you doing anything in the bar in response to that?
Yes. So I clap my hands and I shout out to everyone at the bar. For limited time only, panic special at the bar. All beers are 4 silver. Get them while it's hot. There's turmoil outside, but stay inside to get drunk.
How could this happen to me?
Yeah, everybody that doesn't have a beer that was thinking about leaving this bar due to the giant explosion that just happened, it's just like, no, let's. Yeah, they all start lining up at the bar.
Beers on sale.
Incredible.
Hell yeah. Take advantage.
So you have Boddy. What are you doing? You jumped out of the hire coach. You know that the bar is 1 street north of you.
Yeah, and I can tell that the smoke is coming from that direction. So are the people that are all around me, are they also on the ground not moving?
No, they're not on the ground. These people are kind of like standing, like looking at the smoke and kind of talking to each other. What happened? What happened? Do you know what happened? Like that sort of stuff. Just kind of skittish sort of people.
Okay. I'm going to break out in full dash towards the bar. So kind of down this alley here.
Yeah. So so as you get around the alleyway, you can see that there has been a major explosion in this area right here. That's where all the burn marks are. That's where all the dead people are laying, or people, just
Dead
people are
people.
laying. That's where people are laying, and you can definitely see that some shit has gone down here. It looks like you don't recognize. Oh no, you do. Yeah, you recognize Squidly up there, laying next to a beautiful elf. Everybody else
Okay.
you don't recognize.
I'm gonna break
from
straight
what-
for Squidly.
Okay.
Do I actually? I don't know what his token looks like.
It's that one right there.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going straight for. That's right. Straight for Squidly. To hopefully stabilize him, make sure he's okay.
Okay, so as you touch Squidly, you know that he is dead.
No. Oh no.
I'm gonna take the free cry action.
Oh no, Squidly.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna break down right there because I saw in Squidly a little bit of myself, just a kid that wanted to just make it out for themselves and have a better life, and I can't handle it.
Yeah, you get the free cry action, no doubt. So you break down in the street. You don't even notice anybody else that's on the ground around you. You just kneel over Squidly. Bodhin on the other side, you kneel over Jenks and Nat, and you can tell that they are breathing, both of them.
Okay, so would I assume that they are stabilized?
You could
Like-
assume that, yeah.
Mechanically stabilized, but in character, like, do I feel like they need medical attention that I would?
You can roll it, but it's a really low check. It's
Okay.
a 5. So you'll eventually stabilize unless you get 3 like
Okay.
ones in a
so
row or
I'm
something.
looking to stabilize them to make sure that they're okay. So
Yeah.
nailed it.
Yeah. Okay. So there you nailed it. Glad you guys are better on your medicine checks.
Yep. So,
Okay. Yeah. So they're stabilized, but you know they're still unconscious. You know they're not going to die on you, but they're still unconscious.
that's good. Okay. So the next person I would check on is Tally. I feel like the kids are okay, and I would
Okay.
run over and check on Tally.
Yeah. So when you touch Tally, you can see that he is breathing
So
at least.
with-
So you can throw
with
another check on
Tally,
him.
I am actually going to cast Healing Word. And
Oh, what?
Okay.
I thought you were gonna let him die.
and I say, life. Breathe life into my friend.
And he like wakes up with a start. He was definitely unconscious. He was heading for death, but you have healed him. And he looks up at you, and he's like, "Bodhin?"
Tally, what happened out here?
Tally looks at you, and he says, "I was walking back to the bent nail, and it was just a huge explosion, like right next to me. I think maybe Rainier was trying to do something. I don't know. It's just an explosion. I don't know." And he seems a little delirious to you.
Shit.
Fuck is wrong?
Okay, we got to get this sorted out. Is you think Rainier had something to do with this?
Maybe he was the one that wanted to go outside. I heard him when I was walking out.
That doesn't make any sense. And I look and I see Body over there. And what do I see, Body? What are you doing?
Basically, like, laying over the body of Squidly.
Oh my god.
Like as you would imagine, like almost like a mother with her dead child. I'm just like covering him, and then
Damn.
just weeping.
And it just like when I see what's going on over there, it just takes my breath away. And Tally is like, he's saying, whatever, and I don't even really hear it. And I just am looking at body over there holding Squidly's dead body, and I am stunned for a moment.
So you guys in the bar, are you just continuing to serve patrons?
I don't know any different, do I?
I've been serving
On another
patrons out of curiosity.
You just see my
Drink
hand
up.
pop up out of the cellar. I go, hands! Hands! I need runners, people!
All right, I go and check on Ursus. I say, "Hey, Ursus, did you feel that rumble back there?"
Like, yeah, I felt it. What do you mean? Here,
Just
run
ignore-
this.
Yeah, just ignore
34B!
Keep serving me drinks. Just ignore that. 34B, thanks. Keep it going.
I'm like, yeah, I heard it. What of it?
Nothing. Don't mind it.
Okay, then run this. And I just hand him a drink and keep going.
All right, but curiosity is starting to get the better of me, so I try to hand over this operation as much as I can to the girls. What are the maidens doing?
Right. So when you try and hand over the operations to the girls, they're staring straight ahead. They do not respond to you at all. They're still floating in the lotus position, but they're just staring.
All three of them?
There's only two.
Wait, I thought there's three of them.
They are triplets, but there are only two in the bar right now.
Oh.
One of them left with Squidly.
Okay. One was down with Ursus. Okay. This is weird. That's unfortunate. That's really weird. Ursus, there's something weird going on. I don't know. Ursus!
And as you're speaking to Ursus, these two start to let out a long, piercing wail. Like that. I'm not going to do it, but that's...
You did it.
It's like that and
Oh,
loud.
like a tornado siren.
just like a tornado
Oh my
siren.
God.
Exactly. Yeah.
I cover my bird ear holes as much as I can.
Yeah, Ursus is frustrated. Stop! What are you doing?
Ursus, something's happening! Ursus, come up here!
Okay, so I run up there. And
They just keep floating. They float closer to each other, and they just grab each other's hands.
I run up to him. I ask him, stop! What are you doing? What's wrong?
They're unresponsive.
I'm like,
Just a whale.
hello, are you okay? Okay, well, I turned to Cock, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on.
What? I can't hear you. It's too loud.
I said, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on.
I gotta get out of here. I can't handle this noise.
Okay.
So yeah, as you guys go out the front door, you see the scene that I just described.
Oh no.
Oh my God! Let's go back in the bar. The noise is better.
I'm like looking out, like just like shell shocked, looking across, just like stunned, exhausted, drained emotionally and physically and mentally from working a hell shift. And I see Squidly, and I am emotional.
Yeah, you see Squidly there, and you see Boddynock just bawling over his corpse. And you can roll for it, but I don't know if you see anything else.
Okay, roll perception.
Yeah.
I rolled a 10.
Can confirm.
Yeah, you're mainly just focused on Squidly.
Yeah. So I would say like mostly rage is what I'm feeling right now. And I run up to him and I ask Boddynock, I said, what the fuck is going on?
No response. Just covering his body.
I like shake you by your shoulders a little bit. I'm like, what the fuck happened?
So I just mumble a bunch of unintelligible words. It's like a kid when they're really crying and you can't really understand what they're saying,
Doing
and I'm just
the
like,
lip thing.
peace, the explosion, and then I just go back to crying, and I'm still on him. I refuse to be removed. I won't leave his body. Yeah.
Dang.
I'm trying to make sure that Squidly's like actually. I'm trying to hope that he's still alive. I'm like shaking him and kind of like hitting him on the chest a little bit. I'm like, Squidly. I'm like hollering at him, and then I like look around, like looking for answers, basically looking around at who's around that I can talk to about what the fuck is happening right now.
So right next to Squidly, like almost on top of him, is
Oh no.
is an elf that you know as Ulthea.
So
She's not moving.
So I see him come up to Squidly, and he's yelling, he's panicked, and I snap out of it, and I run over there, and I am checking out Squidly to see if there's anything I can do. What do I notice about him?
You notice that for a tiefling, he is quite fried, very burnt. Most of his clothes are burned away, most of his skin. He's just laying in the street, and just looking at him, you wouldn't know that he is dead.
Ugh. It's a gut punch.
We're talking like massive damage, real death.
Yeah. It's obvious that he's gone, and I've got more of my wits about me. I was stunned before, but I'm on the move now, and I take in that he's gone, and I look across the rest of the crowd and see like what's going on with all of these people. Do I notice anything or anyone that looks significant or significantly interested? Right? Does anybody stand out?
So yeah, looking around, you notice that a lot of these are commoners. A lot of them are people that you've served in the bar. It's hard for you to kind of tell which is which. You can pretty much tell by looking at these people that this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one are dead.
Mm-hmm.
As well as this one. And also Flynn. You can tell that this was very obviously the center of the explosion,
Okay.
and that there is really not much of this body left.
Yikes.
You can see that this guy here is starting to wake up and kind of rolling around, trying to like crawl a little bit. But everybody else, like this guy, this guy, they're fully passed out.
Oh man.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'm concerned about the girl now. Like, is her situation the same as Squidly? Clearly, just like terminated beyond recognition.
Yeah, she was burnt to bits. You can tell that it is an elf, and you knew her, but she's not coming back.
Yeah, I'm heartbroken. So I'm gonna go back and I have to get her sisters.
Okay. Yeah, so you head back into the bar, and they're doing the exact same thing as when you left them, just like a piercing wail, tornado siren wail.
Yeah, and I'm like trying to get through to them. I'm like, guys, stop. Maybe you can help. Come out here. And like I'm hoping that they have some like secret elf magic that I don't know about, and maybe they can bring everyone back or something. I don't know. I'm like grasping for straws, but at the same time, like
You can go
kinda
ahead and roll for persuasion at disadvantage.
17, 10.
Yeah, they do not respond to anything that you're saying.
Okay.
So I'm looking around just like the damage here, and I'm trying to figure out what happened. Right? Obviously, this is the center of the explosion, but
Mhm.
can I tell like what the explosion was? Any of that stuff? Does any of it make sense to me?
Roll Arcana.
Okay.
You're still a little shell shocked. You're not really sure what's going on. You can tell where the epicenter of the explosion was. You can tell who's alive and who's dead and who's unconscious, but you really can't see anything other than
Okay,
that.
so I can't. I don't make any sense of this, and I yell at Tally. I say, Tally, help me get these people back on their feet. And I run over and
So
what's he
Tally
doing?
just kind of sits up and he kind of looks at you, and he says, "How?"
Don't you know any kind of first aid? What do you do if somebody's hurt around you?
I'm just a carpenter.
And I just
I
grab
pulled
his
the nail-
arm
I
and I
pulled the nail
pull him
out.
to his feet.
Yeah, he stands up next to you. His arm is on you. He's definitely leaning on you.
And I tell him, start finding the people that are alive and getting them out of this rubble. And I just kind of shove him like this direction towards where there's people laying on the ground to go get people.
And he kind of like turns around and he's just like, "You mean like Rainier?"
I'll get Rainier. Go help other people.
Oh, okay. And he moves over to this commoner, and he starts half-heartedly dragging the commoner.
Thanks,
uh,
Tally. And I
this way.
kneel down at Rainier and work to resuscitate Rainier. I think Rainier's got information, and so I go ahead and cast Healing Word on Rainier as well.
Okay.
Get those rolls.
Yeah, damn. Look at you. Okay. So he jolts awake and just looks at you, and he says, "Bodhin? What?
Rainier,
What's going on?"
you tell me. This is a disaster. What happened? Tally said you were trying to do something.
I came here to meet Dalakar. And he looks around and sees everything that's happened on the street, and he just puts his hands on his face like that. He can't take it all in. He's just like looking around. His eyes are very, very wide, just kind of in shock.
I grab him so that he focuses on me, and I say, "Who is Dalakar?"
And he kind of like shakes himself, and he looks at you in the eyes, and then he leans over and he looks past you, and he points to the body on the ground right there.
And I don't know much about Rainier, do I? I wasn't around.
That is correct. I honestly don't know if you know anything more than like his name, because you weren't there for
No.
saving him. Like, I imagine that everybody would have spoken about how they saved Rainier, and how they got like the paintings and stuff when you sold the paintings. So you would be tangentially aware of who he is. You also know that he's, just from living in Waterdeep, you know that he's a major noble.
So he points to that guy, and he's exploded. And I say, well, Dalekar is dead. What was supposed to happen?
I was supposed to meet him here.
What were you doing?
He asked me to meet him here. I don't know. I don't know what he wanted. He wanted to come here and meet me. And so I came out of the bar and then everything exploded. He was my guardian when my father left.
And I'm angry now. Like, I was worked up, and now I'm getting angry because he doesn't have any answers. And I tell him, get back in the bar while we get this sorted out. And I just kind of grab him and I take him with me into the bar.
Okay. So you are going to grapple him into the bar, basically? First of all, roll persuasion at disadvantage to see if you can get him to go on his own, because he looked down and he did see Floon dead in the street right next to him.
Is it control? Doesn't matter. They're both sevens.
Nice.
So.
Look at that. Yeah, so he's not going to go with you willingly. He sees Floon and he says, "Oh my God, Floon!" And he tries to run down to Floon and see if Floon's okay. So are you still going to try and drag him into the bar?
Floon's dead. Let's go.
Okay, yeah. So roll athletics. He wants athletics. No, he wants acrobatics, actually. Damn, look at that. But yeah, he's too stricken. He's too stricken, and you are able to overpower him and drag him into the bar. Cock, you see Bodhin dragging Rainier into the bar past you.
Okay. So when I first walked out of the bar, I didn't focus on any one person, just the carnage that's going on around me. All I could think about were stories my bird person uncles would tell me years ago about a certain event that occurred. And when Bodhin started dragging this guy towards the bar, I suddenly refocused and went back into the bar. And I yell out, "Okay, bar's closed. There's dragons. There's dragons outside. Everybody leave. Thank you for coming to the opening, but there's a tyranny of dragons outside. You guys need to go." And I try to usher everybody out of the bar.
Everybody, as soon as you say there's dragons outside, starts screaming, and they run to the bar immediately. You may remember that Waterdeep is charmed to not allow dragons into the city. And when you say that there's a dragon outside, everyone thinks that there's a dragon outside and the charm has fallen.
Excellent.
Actually, everybody can go ahead and roll Arcana to see exactly how much of this you know. Or, no, history.
Actually, I don't know anything.
Actually, I'm going to roll manually.
I don't know anything from this place.
I rolled a 5.
18.
I mean,
I rolled a 23.
I guess I've been in Waterdeep for a small amount of time, and I spent some time in the library, so maybe I know something.
I guess I've heard one distant story as my 5 streak continues.
Should try rolling manually. I'm not rolling in game again for the rest of the night after those that 1 and 4.
You know, that's a good point. Fucking game.
He goes to
As
get
soon
his
as my
dice.
luck like takes a turn in Foundry, I'm like, I'm rolling on the table,
It's IRL time. Let's go.
and it paid off.
So, an 18, you say?
23
Okay,
with
so
modifier.
you know-
Yeah.
Oh, 23. Shit. Okay, so you know that the let's see. The Avatar of Karsus was a 12th level spell that long ago was cast that eventually ended up killing the god Mistral, the goddess of the weave and magic. And she basically had to kill herself to stop the weave from coming undone. It wasn't very long that she was dead, but she also killed Karsus's avatar in the process, which made basically magic not work for a while. It was going crazy. This is where wild magic surges were happening for just a very short amount of time. Mistra was then born and now controls all magic, but she has disallowed magic over the level of 9. So no one can cast more than level 9 magic anymore. Except for very high level wizards that get together and combine their magic into a spell that's greater than 9, and it generally kills the wizards when they cast these spells. That spell, one of those spells that they cast, was the charm of Waterdeep. That's what's protecting Waterdeep from dragons. So Waterdeep is protected by a more than 10th level spell from dragons entering the city limits.
Okay.
So that's kind of the little history of magic lesson that you know. So when Cock, you don't know this, you don't know how serious it is, but when you say that there's a dragon outside, everybody starts screaming and running away.
That is awesome.
So
Hilarious.
basically, I understand this as even just a minor magic caster to be like magic that I can't even perceive. It's so powerful that has banned dragons or like protected the city from dragons. It's like it's something beyond my
Right.
perception.
It's old magic that you will never see, that probably will never happen again. Generally, 20th level spellcasters are extremely valuable to a city or wherever they happen to be.
Sure.
And to lose like 3 or 4 of them at a time is a huge blow to any place, even Waterdeep. So, you know, the magic has to basically outweigh the death of 4 20th level spellcasters, which is generally there's no spell that is worth casting that costs that. And we're talking about like tens of millions of gold and
As
components
components for the
Components,
spells.
reagents.
and stuff too. So yeah, so that's how powerful this dragon ward is. But yeah, Cock screams that there's a dragon in the city. Everybody else screams and runs away because he's not wrong. That's how powerful this blast was. It could have been from a dragon. So yeah, everybody screams out of the bar. There's nobody in the bar anymore, and you two are now alone with Rainier in the bar.
The first thing I do is I check the lockbox and make sure it's locked.
Okay, yeah. So you go into the basement, and everything seems to be secure downstairs. I mean, a little wet, but the wetness didn't get into the box.
Excellent. Okay.
So I'm holding Rainier against his will. Is he? And I just kind of I slap him, but not like I'm not trying to unarmed strike. Yeah,
Not an armed
'cause I'm
strike.
not trying to
Yeah.
take his head off. I'm just trying to get his attention.
Yeah. Yeah, so you slap him, and he just kind of like perks up, and he stops fighting you, and he just looks at you, and he just says, "Is Floon dead?"
I said, Floon, as well as half of the other people you saw out there. We lost Squidly, and are the two elves in here just like screaming still?
There's no conversation happening right now. We
Okay.
just have scream. We have
Okay,
sirens. We have two
so-
sirens just floating.
They didn't pay.
So
Cock any
they're
mind.
still screaming at each other. So and I'm trying to get away from them. So I slap him and I take him down into the basement so that we can get away from that because that noise is terrible.
Okay. Yeah. So you got Rainier in the basement. You walk in on Cock, who's checking a space in the alcove in the
Looking
wall.
around at the box.
Just to be clear, we have the corner where we stashed the gold, and we also have the panther-sized lockbox that we commissioned from the blacksmiths.
Yeah,
I thought we didn't get that yet.
Oh,
I thought that
you
wasn't.
didn't put them in the same
No.
I
spot.
thought that wasn't
No, I
delivered.
put
No, that was delivered in the morning.
it was
Okay.
it was yeah, it was never overtly described as being delivered.
Yeah.
But I think it was. I think we
I just assumed you put them in the same spot. I didn't realize. Okay, so you see Cock leaning into.
Yeah, where'd you
a
put that? Was that under the bar or
panther-sized
did you put it
head-shaped
downstairs?
box.
Yeah, where
So-
specifically
so
did you put that? Especially
I
if
would
it's
have put it underneath
downstairs?
the
Okay,
bar.
so
Because
Okay.
I
The
think
lockbox is
my
under
thought
the
process
bar?
was putting putting the
Does
money
it
in
fit?
the lockbox.
Oh, okay. So you didn't go into the basement. The lockbox is under the bar.
Yes.
That's where you keep the gold, and then you have a secret
Okay.
hideout.
So we went
in the
past him
basement.
while he's looking in this lockbox.
Okay, yeah. So he's looking into a panther-shaped
Shaped,
and sized
yes.
lockbox.
It's not shaved.
Shaped
Shaped and size? No, I like it better
Not
that way.
shaved.
No,
just
it's
size.
panther shaped. It's panther shaped. Yeah, the Avi and
They did
I
good
like
work.
to think
Way
that
too
that's
literal.
the way they interpreted it. Yeah, they were like, "Oh,
took
this,
it-
no, he
yeah, they took
said
it
up
extremely
here for
literally. They
lockbox.
said,
I'm
yeah,
certain
they
of
want
it."
to. They spoke to each other. They're just like, I don't. He said panther.
It is exactly
so-
panther size because it's shaped like a panther.
Oh, that's incredible.
Right,
You
exactly.
can't be more accurate than that.
Gosh, they're good. Such craftsmen.
So I get Rainier into the basement.
So yeah, you drag Rainier down into the basement, past the panther-sized lockbox, and Cock checking the gold with his feathery little fingers.
And I tell him, yeah, as well as half the people you saw out there, we lost Squidly. I said, we lost one of those sisters. You could hear them wailing up here. I said, we need to know who Dalekar is. How do you know him? What took place out there? What did Dalekar want to meet everyone out there for? And does he either have enemies or a reason to be involved in any of this? I need you to focus on what happened before the explosion.
Okay, so roll persuasion. Just straight. So he just looks at you and he says, Dalekar was he was a servant in my father's house. He was and you know that Rainier is a very high-ranking noble, and that he has a lot of servants in his house, and you know that his father was Daggelt Neverember, and you know the history of Daggelt Neverember, where he basically he tried to, after the destruction of Baldur's Gate, he tried to use a lot of city funds to rebuild Baldur's Gate, and he was ousted as the Open Lord of Waterdeep because it seemed like nothing was getting built at Baldur's Gate, and the city was losing a lot of money. So Laeral Silverhand, the current Open Lord, ousted him in a coup, installed herself as Open Lord, and he is now on the run.
And that is Rainier's.
That's
Okay.
Rainier's father. Yeah. And Rainier looks at you and he's just like, Dalakar was a servant in my father's house. My father and I never got along, so when he left Dalakar in charge of my well-being, of my welfare. And Dalakar, he cared for me. He was my valet, and he did what I asked until a few weeks ago, when he left. I don't know where he went. I assumed that he went to meet my father, wherever my father is. But he contacted me through an intermediary, and he said to meet him here today at this time. And so that's what I was doing, and then everything exploded
Did you
around
see
me.
him before the explosion?
Yeah, I saw him on the street with somebody who looked like a thug and like 3 or 4 other thugs. They seemed to be having an argument. The guy had a scar over his eye, like a big scar like this.
So you saw Dalakar possibly arguing with some thugs, and one of them had a big scar on his eye.
And I walked up to him, and everything exploded. I was with Flume.
And so
This conversation's happening down in the basement, right? Down in the cellar.
Yeah, this is in the basement. You are not here.
Yeah.
and the thugs exploded as well, or had they moved on?
I think at the last second. I don't know. I can't remember. And he just kind of like he seems to get lost in kind of like as
Damn it, man.
mind
I'd
again,
say
like a
stay here, don't go anywhere. And I run back upstairs. And
he just kind of yells up. He's like, "Standing in this beer?"
say I don't even acknowledge him. I just run out.
Okay.
I shoot him a look and then I run out.
I think topside we're trying to figure out how to deal with these sirens.
Yeah, so they're still going off. Cock, you're trying to figure out how to deal with the sirens. So they're just kind of floating in air, holding each other's hands.
I'm just saying out loud what's going on. Why are they doing this?
Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha.
And is Ursus in the bar?
He's outside with
I'm
Bodhin.
still out with Squidly.
Squidly.
Okay, so it's just me and the 2 elves.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just you, the 2 elves, and Bodhin kind of running around.
So they're just floating, right? All right. So when
Just
Bodhin comes up, I was like, Bodhin, this is I don't know what's going on, but do you want to like help me like push them out? Can we push these guys out of the bar? Help me push them. I tried pushing
Let's
one of them
push.
into the other to try to like push them like they're like little like grocery carts in a parking lot.
Yeah, and they're very light. They're just little elves. So when you push them, they just float around.
Okay, excellent.
And
So
I
I'm trying to push
see
both of them.
I see Cog just like pushing these floating elves, and that noise.
I go for a
that
feel
just
ski.
like ear piercing wail, and I just run out the front door, and I'm
Okay.
headed back to check
All right. So now I'm going to throw it back to Ursus and Body. Are you guys doing anything other than mourning?
I am, yeah, actually. So Cock has been outside. He's screamed dragon. I'm not really registering that, but then everybody's kind of running around, sprinting away. I'm gonna notice that, and then pick up Squidly's body and carry it back into the bar to try and like protect it from anything else that might happen. At hopefully the exact same moment that Cock is trying to usher the two elven sisters out of the front door.
Yeah, so the three of you kind of like meet at the front door. Well,
Yeah.
I guess I should say the six of you, Bodhin, Cock, and you kind of run into each other.
I want to help him
Cock
too.
is
I want to be
pushing.
there too. I probably think it's a good idea to help
Oh,
him
you're-
carry
okay, so-
Squidly inside.
All right. So everybody meets on the front step here, and you kind of have like a little log jam getting through the door. At least three non-moving bodies and 4 actually moving bodies trying to get out the same door.
Wait, Ursus, did you just leave Ulthea's body there?
I'm more concerned about Squidly right now. I'm helping carry Squidly.
Okay.
Yeah, so you guys kind of have a log jam. Everybody's carrying someone else. Bodhin's trying to get through.
Yeah, I was really determined to get out with this information and I have to figure out what's going on. But when I see them walking in with Squidly, I'm just like, gut punched again. And I'm immediately trying to find out what they're doing with Squidly. And I kind of, am back on my heels now and getting out of the way to figure out what they're doing.
And I'm continuing just to push him out, and I kind of see him in the corner of my eye, even though my eyes are bleeding. I see Boddynock holding Squidly, and it's almost too much to process for me. So I just like keep pushing, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So it's all really loud.
So you are able to get these 2 elves out the door. And you make it, past everybody and into the street. They're still screaming, but they're now screaming in the street and not in the bar.
And then I look back at Boddynock and Squidly. I try to get away from the sound now, so I go back into the bar.
You just sort of like shove them down the street as they just like coast along.
Yeah, I treat it like a broken tornado siren.
Yeah, they're slow,
like an air hockey
floating.
puck. You just kind of shove it and it keeps
Exactly. Just,
Slowly
It's
floating
like,
away
get that
an
out of
air
here.
That's right. Yeah. And you can hear the sound kind of fading with their air hockey puck movement. You guys have made it into the bar. Squidly's in the bar. Everybody's around him now, unless you wanted to be somewhere else.
I just start like brainstorming out loud. I'm like, okay, so the cleric, the one who brought back Cock. I think Squidly would be fine as a wood elf. He would do fine as a wood elf. It's only 1,000 gold. We could scrape up 1,000 gold. I'm like just brainstorming and like rambling anything that I could think that might save Squidly.
Yeah, so I just run in and I place him on the top of the bar. And I like kind of are you saying that out loud or just thinking it to yourself?
Yeah, I'm saying it out loud, but not really like to anyone. Like just like I'm just like overwhelmed and just like it's vomiting out of my mouth.
So
kind of.
I overhear that because like that the same thoughts are passing through my head, and I just yell, call the cleric, and then my mind like fully processes that like Squidly's like he's dead, and then I just throw up. I just throw up right there. I just get sick.
And I say, I say 1,000 gold. Man, we don't have 1,000 gold. I don't know how we're gonna get that. And I just kind of shake my head and realize that I'm getting sucked into this distraction is what I'm recognizing it is, and I run out the door. Really, now I've changed my mindset, and I go to grab the other two kids, and I want to bring them in like the back door, and bring them into the bar.
Okay, yeah. The back door's right there, so it's not very far, and you can drag those kids
So
in.
I drag them in and kind of bring them into the bar where everyone can see them. So we at least have those kids. Yeah, that's what I did.
And after the hockey puck sounders kind of fade away a little bit, and I can actually hear my own thoughts, I turn on my heel and leave the bar and try for the first time, kind of like really look at the scene and like walk down into the area of the explosion. See what I see.
Yeah, so you see these kids are gone. You see Tally kind of staggering around, dragging an unconscious person. Looks like he's trying to get him to the bent nail. You recognize Floon with his big face that has his name on it. You recognize him lying on the ground, dead. You see some more. You see some more commoners. You recognize Bolthea, the elf that's dead, and you don't really recognize anybody else. But there is someone down here that seems to be stirring and kind of starting to like crawl away a little bit.
Okay, I'm going to. I notice Floon, and my jaw kind of drops. I see Floon. I'm like, oh my. I see Althea, and I make a big note of Althea's dead body as well, because it just then clicks to me that there was 3 of them, not just 2. And then I go and check out the one that's actually alive down here.
Yeah, so you can definitely see that this was the epicenter of the blast. That's the person that is in the very center of the blast. This is the guy that's starting to wake up and crawling around.
So I'm gonna walk past this guy in the center, but like, does it look like the blast like came from him? Like, am I getting suicide bomber vibes from this body? Or
You know what? Go ahead and make either investigation or perception.
let me take a look. I would obviously do this.
16. So you think it's unlikely that it was kind of a suicide bomber sort of thing. You can see that, you know, there's a lot of fallout, and that maybe the blast was centered on him, but it probably didn't originate from him.
Okay.
Now go ahead and roll Arcana.
After I drop the kids off, my next goal is to come back out and do some more investigation. So however much time it takes before I come back out.
Okay. So you can come out now. That's fine.
Okay.
So, Cock, when you go by him and you kind of take in the scene, you almost immediately know that this was a fireball. There was a fireball that was cast on this location with that man centered in the middle, and it basically got everybody around. That's why the buildings are on fire. That's why everyone seems to be burnt to a crisp. You pretty much immediately can tell that this was a fireball.
Okay. I see Bodhin kind of getting into the scene from the corner of my eye, so I turn to him and I say that to him. I say, I think it was a fireball shot. I think it wasn't a dragon. I think it was just a fireball.
And I say, find the thug with the big scar on his eye. And I'm just like running, like with this information that I have from Rainier. I'm looking for anything that looks like a thug and somebody with a big scar on their eye.
Yeah, you spot him immediately. It's that
He's
guy right
crawling.
there. And
All
he's
right.
crawling away. He is awake enough to see that things are happening around him, and he's trying to get away from them.
Yeah, and I'm like, you. I go over and I grab him and I say, what did you do here? Who sent you?
I said, Bodhin, bring him to the bar.
And I ignore Cock, and I just got this guy.
He just looks at you, and he just kind of blinks a little bit, and he says, I didn't do anything. I'm Erstal. Erstal Floxen. He's definitely still shell-shocked. He's kind of looking around, very disoriented.
I say, what were you doing here with Dalakar?
He looks around, and he says, I was going to the bookworm's treasure, and he points to a sign, a storefront that's right in front of you. The bookworm's treasure is this one right here.
I kind of shake him a little bit. I said, I didn't ask you where you're going. I said, what are you doing here, and what was your interaction with Dalakar?
I don't know who that is. I was just doing
I
some
kind of grab him by the
shopping.
hair, and I just point his head towards the center and the corpse, and I point. At
Who is that? Who is
this
that?
guy.
I don't. You let me go. What's happening?
And I look and I see, what is Cock doing? Well, I'm clearly mad at this guy.
I walked over. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Bodhin, take him to the bar. We'll question him at
I
the
say,
bar.
all right, and I start dragging him.
Yeah, he is definitely going to try and resist that. He only is starting to resist it like around this area, and so you could drag him that far, and then he is going to basically start contesting.
Okay.
So if you want to keep dragging him after he starts contesting, it's an acrobatics check. Oh no, athletics.
Can I do either, or do I have to do athletics?
No, if you are grappling, it's only athletics. If you're trying to get out of a grapple, it's acrobatics or athletics. Yeah, so he is still dazed. He's still unable to get you off of him, and you're able to drag him over the threshold of the bar before he really starts putting up a fight.
So we got him into the bar.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I see him, I'm like helping. I jump in, trying to help him.
And when as you're coming over to me, I say, I don't know who this guy is, but he has something to do with what happened out there. He's got information. I'm certain of it. Rainier said that he was struggling with Dalakar, and I just start rambling like all the stuff that Rainier was telling me.
And he sees that he's a little outmatched in the bar, and he just kind of starts like looking at you guys, and he says, all right, look, I must have been hallucinating, but just after the explosion, I could have sworn that I saw like a mechanical angel of death moving among the bodies. I thought he was gonna come for me next, but he just turned and he ran away.
And he's saying crazy stuff. I'm like, does he look like he's saying something that he thinks is true?
Yeah,
I
roll
would
insight.
be surprised if he's making it up, but I'm giving him like the eyebrow, like, what in the hell?
So you can tell that he doesn't seem to be trying to lie to you, but his body language is obviously very aggressive and defensive, like posturing. So it's hard to tell what he actually means, but it seems that he was telling some of the truth, at least with an angel, a mechanical angel of death. He believed it anyways.
So this angel of death, what is it? And what did you have to do with it? Where did it come from? What do you know?
He says, I don't know where it came from. I was just talking to a man in the street, and then there was an explosion, and I got blown away, and I saw this, like, right. I saw this ancient clockwork man come and grab something from the body.
From which body?
From the body that got hit with the fireball.
God damn. And I don't know what to make of it, and I just say I'm like, get in the cellar, and I take him. I'm like, I don't know what to make sense of this, and I take him to put him in the cellar with Rainier.
We're just using the cellar as a jail now.
Yeah, it's just kind of my like holding. I can't process like what's going on, and it's not making sense, and I'm like just trying to get like a holding cell for things that I think are significant to what happened.
Okay.
I can still hear the elves in the distance, so I kind of logged on to Althea. My goal is to pick up her body and bring them to the other two. Bring her to the other two.
Okay.
So I attempt to do that.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
It's chasing the hockey puck.
Yeah, I hope I didn't push them too far.
Yeah. So you take the body to them, and they don't really seem to do anything. What do you do once you get around them?
I drop the body at their feet, and then I kind of shrug and I just walk back into the bar.
Okay. All right. So you are all now in the bar with Rainier and Ursula Floxen in the basement, right? The kids are like have been dragged into the bar. And they're just basically propped up. Okay. Everybody's out of the bar at this point, except for the cats. You guys. The kids and the body of Jinx.
Two Ursus.
There's two Ursus.
Two Ursi.
Ursi.
Oh, are there? Where's the second one? Oh, I see him. Okay. Gotcha.
Ursi. I'm kind of operating on I didn't see Bodhin bring Rainier in the first time, so I don't know that Rainier's in there. Would that make sense? Or would I have obviously seen it?
No, it would make sense that you wouldn't know that Rainier is in the bar.
You had that loud noise, and you had your head inside the box looking at the gold. So
yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I kind of missed it. Yeah.
Wait a minute, Squidly was moving. There's signs of
It's
life.
just you're just hoping.
Yeah, so he's back. Let's get the right people in the basement.
Oh God, Squidly's dead. He's dead.
So
So in my shock, I don't know that anybody is in the basement. I haven't processed literally anything besides Squidly's dead. And you missed it when you stepped away, but I vomited from the shock of it. But I overheard Ursus talking about the cleric, and I'm like, yeah, the cleric. We have to. So I'm gonna go down in the basement and not notice that anybody is down there, and make for our secret hiding place of money. And I'm looking for 1,000 dragons to get the cleric to revive.
you're
Squidly.
counting how much money's in there.
Yeah, I'm like, we gotta have 1,000 dragons down here. I'm checking it. I'm
He's counting every last piece of copper.
I honestly don't know
over
how
and
much
over
you
again
guys
We do not
until
have
it adds up to
1,000.
1,000. It's not it is
I
not
can-
anywhere near 1,000 dragons.
I can tell you we have less than 40% of that.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds
But-
right.
You'll find 200 gold, 500 silver, and
Oh.
a shit ton of copper.
OOC, I know that we don't have that much money, but in character as a shocked
Yeah.
individual, I'm like, we definitely have it.
But
It's gotta
OOC,
be
I
here.
took accounting of that because you told me to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How much gold was in the Panther?
Well, I think
That's a good question. That
we've
information
yet-
I do not have.
we've yet to account for how much did we actually earn throughout the day. So that's gonna be
Basically,
you
if
guys
we sold
say-
if we sold out of beer, then we know how much we have. But if we didn't, then we're not sure.
So
yet.
you did. You lost a lot of the beer.
I think we have to account for whether the transactions went through, whether the currency actually got into the
Spillage.
Panther.
Mhm.
for it.
We have to roll for it.
Pretty significant.
Yeah, there's a lot of
variance.
variance there. What did we come away with?
What? That's a.
Do we have a
great
software that handled all of our transactions? Can we go back through our receipts
Yeah.
and all of that? Or
We did.
So you guys had at least
Sales folks.
100 gold, and you can roll a percentile to see the rest.
Okay.
How much you guys
I think
got?
Cock.
Brad, you should do it.
Cock, you're the one looking in
Okay.
there. What did you see?
I'm doing an OOC. Wait, I'm
On
doing
table?
it in real life. Yeah, not OOC. What's my D10? There it is. All right, you said a percentile, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I rolled a 12.
Ah, damn it.
For real?
All right.
Oh my
So you
God.
guys in the Panther can find 112 gold. The rest of it, you imagine, is
been
from
robbed.
spillage and from theft.
Mm-mm. When you roll a 12 on a percentile, both of those go into dice jail. I'm sorry, but that's a fact. And I
Yeah,
bought those for you, so you
You
know
did.
I'm telling you the truth.
This is your fault.
All right, so
I'm going back to
When-
rolling in Foundry.
when
now.
I bring Erstal down to Rainier,
Actually, I found an app.
does Rainier react at all as I'm dragging Erstal to him?
Dice jail.
Rainier is mostly focused on the 3 inches of beer that he's standing in. He doesn't really notice much, but roll insight.
You said it's 3 inches of beer?
Fuck.
Yeah, like about 3 inches of beer on the ground.
That's good. So I can go down there and my head is still above beer and I can breathe.
That's a,
That's
a lot
not
of
something I
spillage.
considered.
that's a lot of spillage, Ursus. What are you doing down there? Jeez.
Just do my best.
Yeah, so you don't really notice whether they know each other or not.
Okay. And so then I just ask. I'm like, Rainier, is this the guy? And I kind of push him into Rainier.
And Rainier looks at him and is like, "Oh yeah, oh that's the guy." And Ursula just kind of looks at you guys, and he's just like, "What are you talking about?"
I'm like, I don't know what to think of the two of you. And I start tying them up.
All right, yeah. Roll sleight of hand for both. Rainier, Urstel. Okay.
I'm in just like preservation of information mode in hopes that somebody else can help me sort out what is happening.
So would you say that you have kind of calmed down a little bit, or are you still like freaking out?
I would say I'm focused on trying to find out what's happening, but I'm pretty like, I'm like, okay, this guy's important now, and I bring him in. I'm like, all right, this other guy was important. That's the information I have. And then I asked him a question, and I can't tell if like they know each other. He's like, that's the guy. This guy looks confused, and I don't know what to make of it. And I don't know what to ask them, and so I just start tying them up. I'm like, all right, well, you two stay here, and I just and I don't trust them. So I wouldn't say I'm super calm. I'm not making really great decisions, but I'm like really narrow-mindedly or narrow vision, just trying to hold on to whatever information we have. I'm just collecting stuff that I think is useful, and I'm making it stay where we have it.
So, yeah. So go ahead and make a history check
Okay.
with disadvantage.
Okay.
Because you dumb.
Yep. Yeah, it's not gonna go well. Yeah.
For someone dumb, you do some really great planning.
Yeah. So you are still kind of buzzing around. You have you are not remembering anything about anything at this point.
What do you roll? Oh my god.
Yeah, I got a 0.
I've never seen a 0.
I rolled a
Yeah, he got a 0, and he would have had a 5 if he didn't roll a disadvantage.
If I was a little calmer.
I think you can't even spell history.
That's what happens when you dump stabs.
Min-maxer.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, are you guys still in the bar? Are you like going somewhere else? What are you guys like? What's your plan at this point? It's been at least 10 or 15 minutes now since the explosion.
Ursus, what you doing?
I'm still thinking about getting Squidly to the cleric, and I'm thinking that's my only hope, our only hope for saving Squidly, and that's pretty much all I'm focused on at this point. Feel pretty sad. And I'm kind of just brainstorming out loud, and I say I'll sign over my portion of the bar.
What?
I'll sign it off. I'll give it to the cleric. He can
For
have my
what?
cut to save Squidly.
I come upstairs after I've secured them and I've tied them up.
No, you're
All right,
downstairs.
I'm still downstairs. I'm not here yet.
So I've counted everything that we have downstairs, and I come to the conclusion that we do not have nearly enough money. So I run upstairs, having not heard anything that Ursus has said, and still trying to like process like how can I fix this? How can I bring him back? And I propose that we offer the cleric that to investigate the like overwhelming issue with people and their illness, the same as Ryu has suffered, pro bono, in exchange for a revival for Squidly.
Guys, I think it is absolutely terrible. The people that have died in this explosion, but we can't bring everybody back to life.
We can't bring everybody, but we can bring Squidly.
And I look over at Nat and what's his nuggets and see what they're doing.
Jinx.
They are
Jinx.
unconscious.
Oh, okay.
How do you think they're gonna take this when they wake up? We have to bring them back.
I don't. If you want to bring Squidly back because we know him, there's at least a dozen other dead people out there.
I want to bring Squidly back because I'm sick and tired of everyone that I give a shit about dying.
I don't know what to say to that.
So I look at Ursus and I'm like, Ursus, we should go talk to the cleric. You and I are on the same page about this. We have to bring him back. If I do nothing else, I will bring this kid back. We need to go talk to him.
Let's go.
I go up to Squidly and I cast Gentle Repose on him.
That do.
Mm-hmm.
It buys you time. That's what it does.
That's right.
I say, hey, if you guys can make it happen without us spending any money, I'm making sure he doesn't decay at all. So you have some time. I guess I'll Bodhin and I will hold down the bar and figure out what's going on.
I come flying out of the
among all this
basement,
destruction.
and I'm just like, I've been running on adrenaline, and I don't really know what I'm doing, but I am moving, and I don't know. What do I see when I get up here? Are you guys moving somewhere? He's casting.
Yeah, I'm picking Squidly up. I'm carrying him out.
Oh, you're bringing him with you?
Yeah, I'm taking him to the cleric.
Oh yeah, we're going.
You got
and we're going right now.
Cock is not going.
We don't give a shit. We don't give a shit about Cock. I don't like you anyway. We're leaving.
Okay.
We don't have to go that far. Jesus. I'm just saying, I'm not going to
give a
with you.
fuck about you.
We don't have to burn bridges here.
All right. So you hear this happen, Bodhin. You hear that Cock isn't going, but the other two are. Are you gonna stick around and investigate more? Or are you going with to the cleric?
I say to them as I see them kind of leaving, I'm like, do you need me to come with you? Because I'm looking for answers. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm asking them, and I feel like everybody's, smarter than I am. And I'm trying to figure out what they want from me or how I can help.
I ask Bodhin, I say, do you have 1,000 dragons?
No.
I said, then what good are you? Stay here.
And I don't even hesitate.
So
I say, okay. And I look at Cock and I say, I'm going back out there. And I run back out to the wreckage.
All right. So
I shout to Bodhin as he's going out. I'm like, find who did this. Find them.
I also shout to Bodhin, I'm like, what's going on in the cellar? Why do you keep popping up out of the cellar?
I hear Boddynock and it just clicks in my head. I'm like, we will bring whoever did this to justice. And I'm out. And I ignore whatever Cock says.
He's on the pursuit of justice now.
Time for some of that tears justice.
Whoever did this is
I
fucked.
clench my holy amulet.
Detective Bodhin is on the case.
And I feel like that helps me center myself. I'm a little bit more calm. And I nod to Boddynock and I clench my symbol and I run out to the wreckage.
Found your direction.
Yep.
So I'll jump. So we're splitting the party. So we're gonna go ahead and take you guys in turn again. So Bly and Evan, you guys are going to the clerics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You grab Squidly's body. You know basically where Petey is, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where you're running, I assume. So
Exactly.
you and Bodhin are kind of like running together, except you're running way slower than he is.
No, me and Ursus.
Yeah, but Bodhin's going the same way. He's going
Yeah,
towards
because
the
you were
fire
parked
as
like way
well.
south and you came up to the...
Okay, yeah.
So he's just kind of like running around like this. What's going on out here? And you guys are like, we gotta get to the fucking boat. Get to the boat. And Cock, where did you end up on this?
I'm at the bar.
You're just-
I would say everyone ran out of the bar, and I'm interested why Bodhin was in the cellar so much, but I'm also getting a handle for the state of the bar. So I'll say I'm doing that.
Are you going to go check out the cellar?
Nice.
Not
Yeah.
yet, but that's
Okay,
the
not yet.
direction.
So
I'm
you're
headed.
just kind of hanging out with the cats up top, looking at the unconscious kids. Okay. So going back to this scene, maybe not. Okay, so you two go to the cleric. You get Petey. Petey picks you guys up, and he's like, "Where are we going?"
The cleric. The same one. The one where we
Cleric.
took Ryu.
Oh yeah, you're going to visit your friend. And I see you got a dead friend in
It's not our
tow.
friend, but it seems like
All right. And so he basically kind of steps on it to get you to the cleric. You show up, and there's a lot of people in the cleric's office
oh my god.
already in front of you. They're trying to. They all have dead bodies as well. Some of them are sick, but most of them have dead bodies. And so you find yourself in a throng of people. What are you going to do?
Push our
Go to
way
the
through
back
the
door,
crowd.
like he told us.
Yeah.
So you go through the back door, and there's the cleric. And he's presiding over people. He's talking to people, and he just looks at you. He's like, "What are you guys doing here?"
Look, I'm gonna level with you. We've got a dead kid. I gotta tell you, I know that there's a bunch of people here with dead bodies, and there's no reason for this kid to be more important to you than anyone else. But he's more important to us than anyone else. So I am here willing to do almost anything to get this kid back. What can we do? Can we help you? Can we investigate all of these, these sick people? What can we do? Because we don't. I'll level with you. We don't have the money.
Yeah. Okay. So you're at the cleric. You give him your plea. Go ahead and give me persuasion.
It's not, so I'll roll it manually.
Oh, because the game's
Wow.
paused.
It is a 4.
Oh.
So he kind of looks at you, and he's just like, You got a dead kid. Everybody around here has got dead kids. You don't have money. Some of these people do. But I told you last time that it doesn't matter if I try to revive anybody. They're just going to die. They're going to die again. Your friend is almost dead right now. And you look over in the corner, and there's Ryu just laying on the bed. And he looks bad, very pale. Almost ghoulish.
So I'm trying to persuade him as well. I said, it doesn't matter. It'll buy us time. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out how to save him. We'll figure out what's causing everyone to get sick. We'll fix it. We'll figure it out for you, since you don't seem to be any use yourself. So you can have my cut of the bar. I don't care. I offered him my cut of the bar.
I don't know what bar you're talking about. And
It's our bar. It's very popular. We had very many guests, and it's worth a lot of money. And you can have 20% of it. And I don't even give a shit. That dude's gonna die soon anyway, so you can have his cut too. Just save the kid.
Yeah, go ahead and roll persuasion with disadvantage.
Oh no. 5.
Oh,
So he looks at you,
you're
and he's
not
just
persuasive.
like, "Just stop talking about a bar, man. I don't have any idea what you're talking about. The best that could possibly happen is I revive this kid, and then he dies like 3 days later, because kids, if you didn't know, don't have a lot of hit points, and it seems like everybody that gets revived loses their vitality almost daily, like nightly. Like, the best I can do is waste a spell on this kid, and he'll be alive for like 3 days. I got dozens of people out there that need a revive. Full-grown people. I can't do it. This kid, I can't do it.
So what are we supposed to do with this kid? What are you telling me? That there's no hope? That there's nothing I can do?
I don't. Do you know anybody else that could revive? I don't have anything that I could do.
Do you?
For.
You're the fucking doctor. You got refer me to a colleague.
Yeah, I only get like 3 of these a day. You know.
What would you do if this was an aristocrat, a wealthy person in the city? If this was an official?
Well, I'd probably get paid. You know. All right.
But what would you tell them as far as you would revive them and they would just die 3 days later?
Listen. I'm not going to get into this now. I can't help you. Maybe I can give you a name of somebody that can, but I really don't think that it's gonna work. You know, he charges way more than me. I'm just a clinic cleric. But yeah, okay. Here's the guy, and he gives you a name of somebody in the castle ward. So now we're going to not cock Bodhin.
All right.
Back here in Troll Skull Alley.
I am looking for any trace of what any trace of anything that would give me some kind of a direction, right? Like I'm looking, did this blast, have any kind of, are things kind of blown in like a direction that would let me know that it came from somewhere else? I'm looking to go somewhere and hoping that there's something here that helps me identify a direction.
Okay. So you're basically looking for tracks.
I'm looking for tracks would be good if it was, if I don't know, if the fireball came from like a side, does it like push things, away? Is there anything, tracks, something that would show me what's
So the way that the weave works and the way that the fireball works is that spellcaster commands the weave to create fire in this area.
Okay, so it's not like
right?
a traveling.
So it's not like it's a and even if it were, that would be like a necklace of fireballs, which would be tossed, and then wherever the bead landed, then it would explode. So that's not exactly what it would be looking for.
Okay.
But there are a couple of these people here that are starting to kind of roll around. They're starting to get up a little bit. You're not going to be able to find any tracks because there's just been a mob of people all day long.
Yeah.
And there's still a crowd here just kind of circled around where this is happening.
I'm determined to find who did this. And so I'm looking at maybe where this could have come from. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking up. I'm looking for I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm just running around. I'm just running around and I don't know what I'm looking to find people. I'm just looking for something to like hit me in the face. Like I'm going to know it when I see it and I don't see it yet. So
okay, so these two people are waking up. The others are dead. But those two are kind of like waking up now. Tally's gone. Bloom Spotty, the elves.
so I guess I start I'm investigating all the bodies that are on the ground. Like, what do they look like? Do they have anything on them? I'm looking for clues and whatever they might have on them.
Oh, you're pillaging bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So most of these are commoners. They don't really have that much. They just have commoners, clothes, frocks, and it looks like this body may have had some sort of finer livery around it, but and like some daggers and stuff that didn't burn up in the flame, but most of that body's gone.
All right.
Everybody else is just kind of
Yeah.
burned up, except for the bodies that are still like waking up from unconsciousness. There are throngs of people around that are just discussing the destruction and everything, talking. You can hear, and you can read the lips of all sorts of people that are just like, "Did you see it? Did you see it? What did you see? What happened here?" And that sort of thing. And if you spend some time, then you can probably pick out, with your like reading lips, you can probably pick out some people that knew what was going on, or
I
saw
think
something,
that's what I would be doing,
or something.
trying to figure out. I'm looking at all the people, and I'm really trying to find somebody to pin this on, because then I could bring them to justice. And so I'm kind of watching everybody and listening and trying to find out what I can figure out.
Yeah. Okay. So as you're going into this trance, you're just like,
I am vengeance.
give me a history check straight. Yeah. So you're just kind of like looking around. You don't remember anything, and you can't really put anything together. But when you look around at the lips, you see someone that says Clockwork Man.
I do remember that. And I just beeline for that person.
It's this nice young Eluskin lass with an eye patch on.
Yep. And I just interrupt anything that they're talking about. And I just say, "What do you know about the Clockwork Man?"
As she looks at you, she says, "The Clockwork Man? That's what threw the fireball."
Where did it go?
Where is he?
She says, "Oh, it ran up the alley there," and she points to the alley directly
And
north
I just
of her.
bolt in that direction. Like dash. I'm like 90 movement speed. I just run in that direction.
Yeah, you go out to the other side.
Which alley was it, this way?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, you get out to the other side, and when you get to the other side, you just see crowds of people walking around. It's Salun Shasala, so people are hanging out, like drinking in the streets. There's a parade that's still going on.
There's a parade going on. Okay. Oh, I did not mean to click that. So I'm not trying to intimidate anyone.
Yes, you scream into the street, "Where is she?" And nobody knows. So everybody just kind of looks at you like, what the fuck is wrong with this?
So I think what I will do.
Do you want to know how I got these scars?
I have.
And by this time, the prestidigitation has worn off. You also smell like shit, and you got shit everywhere.
Oh, I forgot
fair.
you did that.
It's just all over your feet,
Oh god.
like halfway up your legs, like a knee sock.
Oh my god.
I can. I'm looking for what this does. One sec.
No, it's like all over him.
All right, so Cock, tell me what you're doing in the bar.
Okay, so at this point, I get my bearings with the bar and I make my way to the cellar.
Okay.
Again, just like before going outside, I got my bearings with the bar before going outside. Now I'm curious about the cellar, so I go down into the cellar to see what's going on down here.
Yeah, and you notice that there's two people down there. One you know well, Rainier, and the other one you don't know well. He's got a huge scar across his eyes, and he looks about half burned. They both are tied up and standing in 3 inches of beer.
Oh my gosh, Rainier! How did you get down here? Why are you tied up?
The monk drug me down here and tied me up. I don't know.
Why would he do that?
I don't know. He kept slapping me. I tried to like tell him what he wanted to know, but he was crazy.
What? That's insane. Okay, I apologize. He can be very overzealous at times. He's very vengeance oriented. I unsheath my talons and I try to tie Rainier free, and only Rainier cut his ropes.
Okay. Yeah, so you can cut the ropes. I won't make you roll for it. You can cut the ropes, and Rainier, grabs his wrist and he's like, "Oh, thanks, Cock."
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know. I didn't see you taken down to the cellar. If I had seen you taken down here, I would have done something about it. Oh, I'm sorry you were put under such circumstances.
Yeah, and like, why is there beer standing in the middle of the floor? Can I go somewhere else? And like,
you can definitely go upstairs. Get yourself a beer. I don't know if you even want a beer anymore, but go up, dry yourself off. I'll be up in a minute. I've got to talk to this guy.
yeah, so you, Rainier just kind of walks upstairs, and you find yourself in a basement with a man that looks half burnt and has a scar over his eye.
Like I remember him from earlier. Bodhin was yelling at him, so I was like, well, "Why was my friend yelling at you earlier?"
I don't know. He was yelling at me and dragging me. He did the same thing for this guy too. I think he's gone mad. Maybe he got hit by the explosion and it like jogged something loose up there. I don't know.
Maybe, but maybe he's on to something as well. Who are you? Why are you here?
Oh, I'm Erstol Floxen. I was going to one of the shops up there. The Bent Nail.
Oh. For what?
I needed some stuff for a party that I'm throwing later.
Gotcha. And okay. Party you're throwing later. Where are you from? What part of the city are you from?
Oh, I'm from the Seaward.
Seaward. Great. That's great. Why was my friend angry at you? What did he accuse you of?
I don't know. He was out there just like dragging people around and going crazy. Like I don't know if you saw him, but he was just like yelling at people and smacking people and dragging them around. He tied the two of us up after throwing us in this beer. It doesn't make any sense. I just woke up and he was yelling at me.
I remember Bodhin not yelling at everybody, just him. So I'm a little skeptical of that answer. So I get a tinge that he might be lying here.
You can roll insight if you want, but your character would probably guess that. Yeah, you can tell that he's lied about almost everything that he said so far.
All right, I punch him in the face.
All right. Yep. What's your unarmed attack?
Just a second.
It's like 2, 1.
It's unarmed strike, but it's not talons.
Okay, so 0. So you hit him, and he's like, what was that for?
What were you doing here, man? Were you involved in this explosion?
And he just kind of looks at you. He's like, okay, all right, yeah. I was here because I was meeting somebody, but I didn't do the fucking fireball, man. Like half my face is
Tell me-
gone. Can't you see?
I do see that, but tell me what you know now, or I will fly you 60 feet into the air and then drop you.
All right, okay, fine. Just I'll tell you, and then you let me go, okay? It's it was a nimble right.
What's that?
Nimble right? Yeah, maybe you've seen them around. I don't know. It's a construct. It's made of it's like a clockwork man, This one, the one that threw the fireball, it had a red robe and a foppish red hat with a feather, and it had like a long, stylized Van Dyke beard,
What?
and all the gears and pistons, they're like constantly like whirring and like it's got runes on its like skin plating and stuff. They're like super rare. They're like crazy rare. I don't know, but that's what threw the fireball.
Wait, so did you see it? Did someone? So it's something that's constructed.
Yeah, they kind of like stand out, Like, have you ever seen one?
No, I have not. But why are you lying?
Bro, I'm not lying. And
Why are you lying before?
oh, with you. Oh, okay. And he's just like, because I'm a thief, man. Like, I was in the crowd. Like, I was like trying to do some stuff I probably wasn't. I don't want to be here when the watch shows up.
I punch him again.
Is that a 0 again on arm strike?
Let's just assume it's a 0
Yeah.
because I'm not very
Okay.
good at this.
I'm not very good at this.
And he's just like, bro, damn, what? I'm telling you the truth.
Okay. Well, I think you should stay down here. In the meantime, do you like beer?
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like beer, man?
Cool. Well, enjoy the 3 inches on the floor. I'll see you in a little bit. I go back upstairs.
All right, you go back upstairs. What were you trying to ask Bodhin before you had to read something?
Oh, so when I get here, right, I'm looking around and I don't see anything. Do I see anything immediately that would tell me like where this clockwork man went? I imagine it's just lots of people, right?
There's so many people around today. There's no way you're gonna find a trail.
So I just run out into the middle of the crowd and I hold up my holy symbol, and I use my channel divinity for orders demand. So it says, I'll just copy and paste it here.
You channel divinity?
It's a cleric.
And I say,
I thought you were a monk.
with the wisdom of, by the wisdom of Thaindir, and as a sacred fist of Tyr, tell me where the clockwork man went. And I attempt to charm everyone within 30 feet of me if they fail a saving throw. And I'm just like trying anything I can to get information out of all the people around. So
Okay. Yeah. So definitely some people are gonna fail this.
Yeah, I don't know how many
there's like a
saving throws
bunch
that
of
is.
people around, like a lot of people around. And some of them fail it. They look at you, they're like, what? This shit-covered monk? I am afraid. And they point you in the direction of like of the west, or no, they point you to the east, actually.
They point me to the east. Okay. They point me to the east, and I find one of them that looks the most confident and competent, and I ask that person, how far?
And he just like looks at you and he's like, I don't know, like a long way. He just ran that way.
And I just run. I just run east until I'm tired or until I find something that makes me think there's somewhere else to go.
Okay.
But I'm running out of tricks, so I don't know if the trail's going cold or not.
Yeah, the trail is cold for sure. It's a parade. There's just a lot of people around.
Yeah, so I just run and I just eventually collapse on the ground and just like on my knees, and I'm like holding my holy symbol, and I'm asking for guidance from Thane Deer, the Undying Council, Tyr, anybody who will listen. And I'm hoping to everything that I can find out where this is so I can bring someone to justice.
And as you collapse on the ground, we are going to stop for tonight. That's the end.
All right.
I can't believe Squidly's dead.
I know it.
I'm not too beat up about it.
Ursus is very distraught. Ursus was like starting to like take a liking to Squidly. Kind of saw him as a younger version of himself.
I can see
Well,
that.
we got to go up to the castle ward.
You guys are gonna go deep for this.
I
this
mean,
Squidly.
we've gone this far. I'm not going to turn around now.
God.
I'm going to plead my case and try and sell my 20% of the bar to this guy.
You want to sell your 20% so bad.
It's all I've got to bargain with. I've got 23 dragons.
We got a lot to process here.